Մինչ տեսանյութ դիտելը բաժանորդագրվեք ալիքին և սեղմեք զանգակի վրա։
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to have this opportunity to be here today and address this distinguished audience. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Ralph Nickel, Vice President of the Council, and Director Mr. Guntram Wolf and his team for organizing this event. Today we are living at a time when not only natural but also geopolitical tectonic shifts are taking place all around the world. Deepening geopolitical instability, growing tensions and unpredictability are weakening the world order and international security system, creating even bigger challenges, especially for a country like Armenia with democracy, making us more vulnerable in our complicated region. Dear attendees, we witnessed the first sprouts of today's challenges and the collapse of the European security architecture in our region back in 2020 when Azerbaijan unleashed a war against Nagorno-Karabakh. After the signing of the November 9, 2020 trilateral statement, Azerbaijan not only didn't abandon its bellicose politics and threats, but also carried out new aggression, this time against the sovereign territories of the Republic of Armenia in May 2021, November 2021, and September 2022. During the last aggression on September 13, 14, 2020, Azerbaijan launched a large-scale military attack targeting the military and civilian infrastructure of Armenia using heavy artillery, missile systems, and drones. As a result, the Armenian side had 225 victims, including 3 civilians. More than 100 square kilometers of the sovereign territory of Armenia were occupied. Today, I wouldn't like to go deep into the details of the aggressions of 2020, 2021, 2022, but it is impossible to ignore the evidences of multiple cases of torture, mutilation of captured or already dead Armenian servicemen, including servicewomen, and other atrocities by Azerbaijani military forces. The horrible videos of the Azeri militaries committing ISIS-style war crimes by executing Armenian prisoners of war should be acknowledged and addressed by the international community. Another issue is the engagement of the mercenaries from Syria by Azerbaijan. During the aggression of September 2022, when the external security system of Armenia didn't work, we requested an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council that was held on September 15, 2022. During the meeting, the UN Security Council member states noted that the use of force is totally unacceptable, explicitly named the aggressor. Azerbaijan highlighted the importance of adherence to the norms of international humanitarian law, emphasizing also the fact that civilian infrastructure of the territory of Armenia was targeted. An important step toward the escalation of the situation, quadrilateral meeting of President Macron, President Michel, President Aliyev and me in Prague on October 6, 2020, where an agreement was reached on deploying short-term EU in monitoring capacity along the international border between Armenia and Azerbaijan. When this mission mandate ended on December 19, 2022, at Armenia's request, the EU Council made a decision to deploy a new, fully fledged civilian mission on the territory of the Republic of Armenia for a 2-year period. On behalf of the government of Armenia, I would like to express our gratitude to the EU and its member states, particularly to the government of the Federal Republic of Germany for its support to our request. The mission was launched on the 20th February, and I have already met the head of the mission, your compatriot with extensive experience in international deployments, Mr. Markus Ritter in Yerevan. The mission shall play a crucial role in ensuring security on the ground and stability in the region, as well as timely and reliable reporting on the current situation to our partners in the European Union and its member states. Dear colleagues, Azerbaijan, since December 12, 2022, in gross violation of the provisions of the trilateral statement of November 9, 2020, has been illegally blocked the Lachin corridor connected Nagorno-Karabakh to Armenia. The blockade resulted in a humanitarian crisis. 120,000 Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh had been cut off from natural gas, electricity, food, medical, and other vital supplies. Due to a severe shortage of food and other necessary goods, authorities of Nagorno-Karabakh had to take desperate measures, issued food coupons, and are rationing certain foodstuffs. Population receives only irregular power supplies from local electricity capacities. Universities, schools, and kindergartens were shut down, due to which more than 30,000 students and children were deprived of their right to education. On December 20, 2022, upon the request of the Republic of Armenia, an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council was held on the situation caused by blockade of the Lachin corridor. The overwhelming majority of the UN Security Council members made clear demands to stop the blockade of the corridor by Azerbaijan and to ensure the access of international organizations to Nagorno-Karabakh. Dozens of countries and organizations issued a targeted condemnation of the blockade of the Lachin corridor and urged Azerbaijan to end it. The Republic of Armenia has been putting efforts to send a UN and OSCE fact-finding mission to Nagorno-Karabakh and Lachin corridor. Also, the Republic of Armenia filed a request to the International Court of Justice of the United Nations under Convention of the Elimination of all forms of racial discrimination to apply provisional measures to unblock the Lachin corridor. On 20 of February, early this year, the International Court of Justice issued its order to Azerbaijan to take all measures at its disposal to ensure the unimpeded movement of persons, vehicles, and cargo along the Lachin corridor in both directions. Unfortunately, up to now, Azerbaijan failed to comply with the decision of the ICJ, and the traffic through the Lachin corridor is still disrupted. Though the natural gas supply is restored, electricity supply to Nagorno-Karabakh, having been cut off since 9 January 2023, has not been restored yet. Food supplies are still carried out by coupons, and people are deprived of crucial medical care. Only Red Cross and Russian peacekeepers are able to deliver limited amount of food and necessary life-saving goods to Nagorno-Karabakh and transport people with healthcare emergency needs to Armenian hospitals. Growing aggressiveness of Azerbaijan toward Nagorno-Karabakh makes clear the intention intentions of Azerbaijan to carry out an ethnic cleansing of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. Recently, President Aliyev of Azerbaijan declared that Lachin corridor is open for those Armenians who want to leave Karabakh. That means that Lachin corridor is closed for those Armenians who live in Nagorno-Karabakh. Dear participants, despite the above mentioned, the government of Armenia has shown the political will and has been taking decisive steps to open a new era of peace and stability in South Caucasus and has been engaged constructively in the Armenian-Azerbaijan negotiation. The Armenia-Azerbaijan negotiation process is going on in the following three main tracks: agreement on the normalization of relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, unblocking of transport communications and economic links in the region, and border demarcations and security. Armenia agreed to separate from the Armenia-Azerbaijan process the settlement of Nagorno-Karabakh issue with the logic that a mechanism of discussions between Stepanakert and Baku will be formed. It is essential for Armenia to establish a guarantee mechanism addressing the issues of security and rights of the Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh, which will have international visibility and involvement. Without going into the details, I would like to mention that the key humanitarian issues, such as the return of all the Armenian prisoners of war and the access of international organizations to Nagorno-Karabakh, continue to remain unresolved and are the issues of our utmost concern. We strongly condemn the continuous violation of the Geneva Convention on the Prisoners of War by Azerbaijan, as at least 33 Armenian prisoners have been sentenced to different terms of imprisonment through completely trumped-up charges. The refusal of Azerbaijan to repatriate Armenian prisoners of war is another violation by Azerbaijan of point 8 of trilateral statement of 9 November of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, another aspect of our vision of regional peace is the normalization of relations with Turkey. We are ready to fully normalize relations with Turkey, establish diplomatic relations. We hope for full opening of our common border, which was unilaterally closed in the early 90s by Turkey. We have some small but hopeful signs that we are moving forward. Special representative of our countries agreed upon establishing air cargo transportation and opening interstate borders for third country citizens in July 2022. In January, a ban on direct air cargo transportation between Turkey and Armenia has been lifted, and we hope for the speedy implementation of the opening of the border for third country citizens. Also, I met President Erdogan in Prague on the margins of the European Political Community Summit in Prague 2022. It was in October, where we discussed the prospect of normalization. Armenia reacted rapidly after the recent devastating earthquake in Turkey. I called up President Erdogan with condolences and proposed our support. After that, we sent humanitarian aid and rescue team to the affected areas. It is very important to state that 2 convoys of humanitarian aid entered into Turkey through the border bridge, which had been closed for 30 years. Our rescue team returned to Armenia through that bridge as well. Armenian Foreign Minister visited Turkey, met his counterpart, and reiterated our readiness and willingness to fully normalize relations. Though the last interactions were, of course, of purely humanitarian essence, we, however, would be glad to have the political outcomes. Dear friends, I would like to stress that the European Union is one of our key partners on our democratic reform path. In this context, it is worth to mention that Germany is a major political and economic partner for Armenia, providing development aid and support for our democratic reforms. Continuing the topic of cooperation with the European Union, I would like to inform you of a new important format of the Armenia-EU partnership agenda, the political and security dialogue that the inaugural meeting of which took place in Yerevan last January. The discussion on a wide range of issues, including the overall regional situation and the prospect of deepening our collaboration in certain areas, was not only timely but also considerably enriched our diverse partnership agenda with the European Union. In this context, I would like to stress that the basis for our cooperation with the European Union is democracy. And according to the latest index of the General Assessment of Eastern Partnership member states, Armenia topped the democracy and good governance rating table among the Eastern Partnership member countries and is a leader in the following 5 areas: fight against corruption, an independent judiciary, opinion and freedom of expression, freedom of assembly and association, independent media and democratic rights, elections and political pluralism. Despite all the challenges, we do believe that our security architecture cannot be comprehensive without respect for human rights, rule of law, and democracy. Democracy is a strategy for us. We will keep up reforms aimed at strengthening the rule of law, consolidating good governance, and fighting against corruption, aiming to ensure prosperity for our people. The 2018 democratic Velvet Revolution, followed by 2018 and 2021 snap parliamentary elections, proved that Armenia's democratic development path is irreversible. In this regard, 2021 parliamentary elections were exceptional. It was first case when election in Armenia served as a tool for overcoming the political crisis. I mean internal political crisis that we had after the 44 days war of 2020. Usually, elections sparked political crisis in our country, and it was the case from 1994 to 2018. But this page is turned off after democratic revolution of 2018, and Armenia now is an internationally recognized democratic country. However, recent security challenges raise serious question. The following question: whether democracy can provide security. Whether Armenian democracy is able to provide security. This is the question that rightfully worries the Armenian society today, and an issue to be addressed by our government. Thank you for your attention.
Մի մոռացեք հետևել մեզ Facebook-ում, ինչպես նաև բաժանորդագրվել մեր YouTube-յան ալիքին։